You're listening to Tehachapod with Key Budge, Corey Costello, and Greg Garrett.
It's Tehachapod time again. Key Budge, Greg Garrett, Corey Costello. Guys, how are you today?
Doing good, Key.
Wonderful.
It's time for an update. We're into 2022. The first one was off and running. We were talking about different things going on to recap and end 2021, how 2022 has started. And we need to check in with some of the other organizations that we work with on a daily basis. So today we brought in Corey Torres once again, returning guest. I don't even know how many times, Corey, you've been on the show, but you are a welcome returning guest. Welcome back to Tehachapod.
Yeah, always a pleasure to get invited back. Appreciate it.
And you didn't bring Ashley with you today.
No, I didn't. She's shy. So she I had to really talk her into the last time. And
She
like,
is
don't ask
not
me for a while.
shy. Yeah, we know Ashley. She's not shy.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, here we are, 2022. We're into the end of winter. Spring is right around the corner, and that means activities, youth sports, programs, and people are going to be filling our parks. So what are we looking forward to here in 2022? Because and we really should not miss the fact that the pandemic has had a huge impact on programs and activities. Where are we with the pandemic and where you're looking at for spring of 2022?
Yeah, so we were dark for a while, no programs running, and really just trying to figure out how we can bring back programs safely. And we started to do that this last year. And currently we're running our youth basketball program. It's a huge hit. Parents were just desperate to throw their kids back into something. So we're in the middle of our basketball season, kindergarten through 8th grade, boys and girls. I think we have 350 participants. It is live and well, so it's a great program we love to have back. It's at our gym, and that gym is being used 7 days a week right now.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And you have a great partnership with Tehachapi Little League. So Little League signups and baseball and softball coming soon.
So we have a contract with Little League to use the fields at West Park. That's their contract is starting now. They're holding skill evaluations, and I believe signups are for another week or so before they get going with team practices and games starting. I believe by the end of March. So they're up and running. We, in collaboration with that, we do our T-ball program for ages 3 to 6, and then Little League starts from ages 6 and up. So it's kind of, we fill that gap with the younger kids to kind of get them started with the game, and then once they get to 6 years old, they jump into Little League. So the weather's been beautiful. It's a good time to start getting back outside. So the baseball's
But if it's almost Little League, the weather's going to turn.
Oh, yeah.
Like if you can set your watch by the Tehachapi.
Windy.
Yes, yeah.
Oh.
So it's always going to be nice until it's like, oh, it's the opening day of Little League. And it's like, cue the clouds, the wind, and the rain.
Well, it's like graduation at the
Yep.
high school, right?
Yep.
You can count on it.
Every weekend in June, there's a bad Thursday night.
So if you want to sign up for
graduation
Little
day.
League, do you have a link on your website, or do you have to go directly to their...
We don't. We get a lot of visitors coming into the office trying to sign up, but we always refer them directly to THPLL.com.
Yeah.
THPLL.com for Little League and softball.
Yep.
Okay.
And we have shared that on our Facebook page, so people can find it on our page if they want to just do one-stop shopping.
That's awesome.
And so, and then you brought up the one that you do run is the coach pitch baseball and the T-ball program as well. So, which I will be elbows deep in this year.
I was going to say, not to put you on the spot here, but we're looking for coaches. So
The problem is I have this boss that doesn't let me like get out of City Hall.
Oh no, you get
I'm
off.
so
You're
busy.
off at 6. No, it's good.
Is Greg's mic cutting out a little bit? I think it's cutting out. Can you check that, Key? Because I didn't catch that.
If you need to leave early, go ahead.
Well, I got my grandson. He's going to be 5 in April, so
You'll be out there too. I remember Key used to coach my son Levi in Little League for years and years. Those were the good days.
Those
were fun.
Those
were
coaches,
fun times.
Those coaches, like they're saints. Those T-ball coaches are saints. I do not have that patience. I mean, our coaches last year were fantastic, and it was a husband and wife duo, and I'm like, you guys have way too much patience. Like I don't know if I could do it.
I was that guy in the stands. I would, be drinking a soda and eating licorice and, being like, oh God, I'm so glad I'm not out there. Cause I could not handle it. I couldn't do it.
I tell Bill, make sure you don't cut the grass. We need all the dandelions for all the kids to go get distracted by.
Right.
Leave them out there.
I'll tell you, when they are that young, up to age 12, it's fun as a coach. It is fun because the kids will listen and they're doing things and you can have fun with them, fun little drills. When they turn 13, it's a little bit different.
Yeah.
You got to have a lot more patience because, that's when you're dealing with people starting to feel, the kids starting to feel themselves.
Well, and then parents think that my son or my daughter is going to be in NBA or the MLB or, NFL. Like, oh, right.
We had a moment last year where literally they're 3-4 year olds, and they just had this issue where they just wanted to attack the ball, right? And then they would tackle each other. My kid being one of the largest culprits, they'd tackle the kid on their team that got the ball. So they're like, okay, they're really working on like all week long. They're sending texts to parents. Hey, make sure your kids know no dogpiling, no tackling, right? And the only move the ball comes to them. Everyone's hammering this point home to their kids. First kid that comes up and hits the ball, not a single soul moved on the diamond. Every one of those kids just stood there and watched the ball literally roll right by him. They were not going to be the one who got in trouble.
I was told not to do that. Not to go get it.
They do take instruction.
Yeah, so you have baseball, you have softball, you have basketball in the Aspen Contractors Gym. What else we got going on this spring?
Let's see. We have a co-ed youth volleyball league coming up. That's for grades 3rd through 8th, boys and girls. We have that coming up. That'll be in April. We have an adult basketball league coming up that I'll be participating in. I'm excited to have that one back.
I thought about refereeing that, but that'll probably get ugly.
Well, it depends on how many refs they got on the floor.
Yeah.
If it's a one ref game, don't do it.
Yeah.
You got to make sure you have at least a partner, if not a 3-man team, because oh my God,
exactly. That wasn't my call. That was my partner's call.
That's right. Yeah, exactly.
You know who does really well is Mayor Pro Tem Michael Davies. He kind of scurries up and down the court, and he only moves 10 feet one way or 10 feet the other, and he doesn't take anything. He'll be like, no, you're out, whatever, ding, ding, ding.
He's doing our youth games right now.
He's been doing that for years.
Yep. Yeah. I think it's like his 34th year or something like that.
I think he said he's went through 3 generations of people now. So it's been like, parents, grandparents, grandkids.
Well, and you can't pull anything over. Cool. Yeah, no wool over his eyes. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, we always loved having Mike out there.
Good stuff.
For that and softball, adult softball.
Yeah. And then you had ribbon cutting at your skate park. Kind of old news. It was about a month ago or so, but congratulations on the new skate park.
Super, super excited about that. It has been busy nonstop since the opening. You got all demographics out there, from little kids with their parents out there. We got the middle school kids coming over from after school in the evenings. It's a little bit of the older crowd, the more experienced guys. So we're touching every age group, and it's just a wonderful, wonderful park to have back. It's it's obviously free to the public. It's just being used constantly, and all sports. So we got inline skaters, skateboarders, scooters.
That's
bikes.
the crazy part. It's just wheels in general are over there, and everybody gets along, which used to not always be the case between the wheeled sports. And then the interaction between the different age levels. I mean, I had my young kids out there on scooters, and there were older kids like helping them and encouraging them to do things they probably shouldn't have on the ramps, but they were helping them out. It was kind of cool to do that. So.
No, and we have a little jar in our office. Every time we say skate park, we owe the jar $1. It's a sports park. Because it's not just skating. We got all the other wheeled sports.
You have to be politically correct.
Exactly.
Right?
We want to make sure we're all inclusive. So.
Hey, what happened to that skateboard that Corey gave Mayor Smith?
Yeah,
is it around here somewhere?
Probably Jay's office. He was one of
he hoards all the awards.
I'm surprised it's not hanging out there.
It should be hanging on the wall.
That was the intent.
The intent was to hang it in this building.
I think the intent was for someone to get on it and drop in on a bowl.
Corey tried to get me, and I'm like, not a chance.
Part 2 is if you can't do that and we have a photo to memorialize it, we should hang it on the wall with all the other plaques.
Well, the funny part is, like, my kids don't get it. Like, I take them to this the sports park and their scooters, right? And then they see people doing skateboard tricks and stuff, and they're like, Dad, you should bring your skateboard out and do that. And I'm like, no, it's not going to happen.
You had your longboard out on the...
I did, but it's hard to drop into a ramp on the longboard.
I made him clock out when he did that.
That's made for low and slow, that's how I like to roll.
When you sent me the video of you on that, I thought you had done it in slow motion.
No, that was my speed.
That was your speed. That was real time.
Plus, I was trying to get it done before Ashley yelled at me for not having a helmet on. Exactly. So that was my point.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So successful opening, and that's a winter opening. You did that in December.
Right.
And the turnout was, I couldn't believe when I saw the photos and the video images of how many people, parents, kids, all ages, were there for open the gates. There
were several hundred people there, right? Yeah, several
sure.
hundred.
I'll always take the opportunity to thank you guys. This was a grant that we went in on together. You guys didn't have to, share in those funds. You guys definitely had other worthy projects, but you guys saw the value in what, putting a new sports park in place would do. And I'm so grateful for the partnership because it wouldn't have been possible without
and
you
it
guys.
saved our curbs from skaters skating on the curbs. So there was a benefit to us going in on
win-win. Win-win. Skating around City Hall as
Absolutely, well. Yeah. Using our stairs, yeah.
For sure.
And you've got some other things that are traditional spring events, and I think we lost a couple in 2020, but or 21. Do we have anything in 21, or did we skip up 2 years?
We skipped 2 years.
My gosh.
Let's see. So we have some annual events that happen in the spring. So we have our annual Easter egg hunt. It's a free event that's open to the public. We usually do it the Saturday or the day before Easter. So that'll be at West Park. It's free to the public. We got prizes for all ages if you find the lucky egg. Then our annual fishing derby at Bright Lake. We haven't had that since 2019.
It's been a while on that one, yeah.
So we've put in a lot of love and attention out at the lake since then. And we have a lot of eager fishermen who are asking about when we're getting stocked constantly and when's the next derby and cash prizes and when can we reserve a camping spot. So these two events in the springtime are definitely something that we haven't had in a while, but we're very excited to bring back again.
I want to dig into Bright Lake in a minute, but I had a question for you. Are you looking for sponsorships for the Easter egg hunt or the fishing derby?
Always looking for sponsorships. Anytime we can partner with a company or anyone who wants to get involved, we gladly will welcome and partner with you.
Yeah. So any listeners out there, it's a worthy cause, and yeah, it's a good deal. So Bright Lake, let's talk about Bright Lake for a while. That's an amazing jewel.
Yes.
Camping, fishing, hanging out, hiking, not hiking, but walking around and all that. Tell us about Bright Lake. What's going on there?
I mean, so basically since the pandemic hit, we've done tons of improvements. We have done a lot of fencing improvements to really define all the roads out there. We added some gates, so we have the ability to just shut down certain areas when it's too muddy to go through so people aren't getting stuck. We had the implementation of our payment gate right there so that we can kind of control who comes in and out. Camping is at an all-time high. People love to bring their rigs out there. I think we've gotten better at taking reservations. And before, like in years past, it's been first come, first serve, but that's not a good way to do business. You want to be able to book a spot, reserve it on an annual basis, or for whatever event's coming up, you want to be able to reserve a spot. So we're working on a new system that we hopefully can enable you to go online and reserve yourself. It's not quite up and running yet, but we're really looking forward to that system being put into place so that people can it's a hands-off for us. People can just go on themselves and reserve a camping spot. So we have staff currently working on that too that we're really excited about.
So you have tent camping, dry camping, full hookup camping.
Yep, all of it. Dry camping, tent, partial water and electric, and then our full.
And then restrooms with showers.
Yep. We have a shower facility out there. We have all the amenities. We have a playground that we put in a couple years ago, horseshoe pits out there, pavilions you can rent. So lots to do out there.
And it's a great partnership with Tehachapi Cummings County Water District, right? That's part of the state water system where they store water, and they're gracious enough to partner with the district, the Parks District, to allow you to utilize that.
Right.
So it's a good partnership.
Right, and the water levels aren't consistent. They go down and up every year. And so I'm probably in Tom's ear a little much about, hey, when's that water level going to go up? Because we have eager fishermen that's looking at to get out there.
We'll have to twist his arm to actually turn the tap up.
Exactly. Tom, if you're listening, appreciate it.
Well, I know last year as a family, we went and took the trailer out, camped, took the grandson so he could get that experience. And he was so excited. First thing in the morning, sun's coming up. Grandpa, come on. And he's rock collecting. We walked down to the water. He's throwing them in. I know the fishermen didn't like that. But, I mean, we've got this here in our backyard. It took me literally 15 minutes to hook up the trailer, get over there, set up, and we had a blast without having, driving all day to get somewhere because that somewhere is right here in our backyard. Right. And it was really easy. And your staff, your camp host staff were really nice and polite. And it was just a fun experience.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And all the more reason to have like a nice reservation system in place because, the client, you don't want to take a chance. You're bringing your nice rig out there and then, there's no spot for you. You don't have the spot that fits your trailer, yada, yada. So to be able to reserve a spot in advance, it sounds so simple that everyone should do it, but it took us some time to put that into place.
Yeah. I wanted to bring up a recent addition to some of you're always trying to add a few things to facilities and that sort of stuff. So, one of the parks that you've had a few recent additions in Meadowbrook Park, kind of just outside the city on the way to Golden Hills. Basketball court was put in last year at some point, that half court. Yep. And then the disc golf baskets, which I was bugging you about for a long time. I've only played the course once since you put them in, but a really cool amenity to add. And it's another opportunity to get out and recreate and, throw some Frisbees and go after them. So really cool.
Yeah. All of our parks have their own personality and flavor. Meadowbrook being, in my personal opinion, more of like your leisure, kind of bring your own activity to the park. So, you have that half court basketball court. They bring your own ball, come and shoot, bring your family. Disc golf is huge. Bring your own discs and do the course. We have a nice little map that you can do. It's 9 baskets. You can go.
Where is the map? Because I got lost. Literally, I got lost myself.
You got lost.
I gotta talk to our custodian. He's a very avid disc golfer, and he created our map. And he apparently we're up on an app somewhere.
Okay,
I think that you can get the course layout.
That, yeah.
There's an app for everything.
Exactly.
Yes, right.
And you can go.
There's an app for an app.
Exactly.
And you can go to Big Five. Big Five has all the discs. And you can get really technical. Like I literally have a bag of a million different discs, way too many. But you can go out and really you only need like 2 to start. Sure. 3 is optimal, right? You have a driver, you have a mid-range, and you have a putter. That's it, just like golf clubs. And so three discs are a little heavier, a little sharper edges, fly better than a regular Frisbee. And it's a great sport. Very affordable.
Is there a handicapping to this as well?
Probably, yeah. Probably.
I have a Frisbee, so I don't even have a disc. It's a Frisbee.
Yes.
Because when I remember, it was Frisbee golf, and now it's disc golf. So I have one Frisbee.
No,
you've got a bag of discs?
I have a bag, and I have stuff that goes way back in the day. Like I have connections to sport back from
Corey's
like
a
the
hoarder.
70s.
Exactly.
I've got a connection to the sport back from like the 70s when it started in Huntington Beach. So I've got really ancient stuff that I've acquired, and I've also got new stuff.
Yeah, good thing you guys are hoarders because we would never have this podcast because we didn't have the equipment. So you're hoarding all this old radio equipment.
That's true. That's how it works. Yeah.
So we're talking about a lot of different recreational opportunities, and I don't want to say special interests, but certainly people have their special interests in certain sports. Yep. And pickleball, that's a big deal these days, right? I actually played pickleball myself, and I loved it.
Nice.
But in Tehachapi, there are no pickleball courts. Right. That's a problem.
Right. Inside our valley, there aren't technically courts you can go play. I believe this last Saturday, there was a big group that set up on our basketball court there at West Park, but there's no official lines drawn right now, so there's no public space to go play pickleball inside our valley.
So Stallion Springs, Bear Valley Springs, I believe they have pickleball courts. Mm-hmm. They're not in your district. They de-annexed several years ago. Yep. So your district encompasses the city and Golden Hills and certain areas. Yep. But something that maybe we can work on. Yeah,
I'd be super. I mean, I've been approached like the last several years, going through the grant opportunities that we've had. Hey, can you include pickleball? I'm saying yes because, people are showing up to the public input meetings. I have like 10, 20 people coming out. Well, it's usually, I don't want to say usually, but there are a lot of older, 50 plus, my age group, let's say. And those are the people that are paying their property taxes that are funding your district, right? Yeah, I have an obligation. So we need to, you go.
And it's good if you can find stuff that everybody, like you're going to, if you have, it's not just you throw out a basketball hoop and a baseball diamond, right? That's only capturing a small. So if you have stuff that everybody from every age group can do, and that's serving. But it's more than just building it. Maintaining it is the trick, right? You got to keep the lights on. So you have to put a lot of thought into the design. Where's it going to be located? Who's going to manage it? What kind of partnership are you going to form before you just go off and build a pickleball court? Right. And it's becoming a youth sport too. The number 1 ranked woman professional player in pickleball is 14 years old. It's like tennis. Seriously, I'm not kidding. Yeah. And she is phenomenal. But she beats up all the old people. Exactly. I went out because my wife plays. My wife is a avid pickleball player, and the ages were from 13 to 80 on the court last Saturday. And there was like 25 people, 16 were on the court. There was 8 waiting to play. This constant rotation. It seems like fun. I mean, I played tennis a few times, and I'm like, tennis is hard. This is way too much running. Like, I'm not trying to coming go from a runner. Yeah, well, somebody that did a half marathon last Saturday. Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm a runner. I just happen to run. But my form is awful. But yeah, I mean, tennis is a lot of real estate to cover, and lateral movements. Sometimes people can't do that very well. So I'm intrigued about pickleball. Yeah. For those that are listening that don't know what pickleball is, I mean it's a miniaturized tennis, a miniaturized court. It's kind of to me, it's between ping pong and tennis. Mm-hmm. And I love ping pong. It's a lot of fun. You can play as singles or doubles, and I go out and watch it. And before I had my surgery a couple of months ago,
I was trying to play and learning the game. It's very quick reflexes, eye-hand coordination. It was a lot of fun. So I think you'll see people, if you build it, they will come.
Yeah, no, and Greg, to your point, I mean, you were talking about special interests and all these different interests of like activities they like to play. I think that we've done a decent job over the last couple of years chipping away at it, and starting at Meadowbrook Park and paying attention to a lot of what we can do in the area we can do it in. And so we want to continue to do that. And just
you want to get the most
away.
bang for your buck.
Exactly.
And if you really get into like the recreation piece in terms of, Greg brought up running, and I've really recently started using all of our bike paths, running trails as a runner, not somebody who just drove by and saw them. And, you value that in terms of like, I'm going to have to go on a long run. I'm going to prioritize that I'm on, say, Antelope Run or Freedom Trail, because I know it's easier, safer for me to be on that because I'm not by cars as opposed to running right off the road. So you really appreciate those things. And then you really start to understand like, well, we actually have a lot available at our fingertips, whether we're going to be, you're on a mountain bike, a road bike, or you're going to be playing disc golf, or you're going to be, basketball, whatever it is, we really are growing that portfolio, as you pointed out.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we have a great partnership with the district, and then also Golden Hills. You talk about the walking paths, the running paths, and different things. And I bet most people don't realize that the city owns several parks. The city owns Warrior Park, Pioneer Park, Braves Park, Railroad Park, Depot Park. I think I got the list. And then you own West Park, Meadowbrook Park, Central Park, and Bright Lake. Is that your list?
Yep.
And so you provide recreation, and the city does not, right? So we have, this hybrid kind of model, and it works really well, I believe.
Right. No, yeah, we're constantly collaborating. I mean, whether it comes down to expertise, ideas, sharing and grant opportunities. Like I appreciate and love all of the relationships that we've grown and the partnerships, and it just works in our little town. And
we tried real hard to receive a grant from the state of California for the proposed recreation center on the corner of Tucker and Cherry. I think everybody by now knows the grant. We did not receive the grant, or the district did not receive it. Yeah. But we're going to continue to try to achieve that goal, right?
Yeah, the need is still there. Our needs just didn't go away. We didn't get it. But yeah, our town's growing, and that's going to be a higher demand for more and more recreation opportunities, and to be able to provide for more and more families. So it's something that I'm constantly paying attention to, and I'll never give up. If there's a grant opportunity out there, we'll always apply for it and see what we can get.
And a lot of times you have to have a matching component. So your budget, how's your budget looking?
Our budget's great. We during COVID, we weren't able to run a lot of programs, and so we kind of just sat and waited patiently, and we ran the programs that we did, but we saved on staff, we saved on this and that, and we came out, I believe, this last fiscal year with we were able to put away a good chunk into a reserve fund, so for future projects, and we applied for the state of California. They had a COVID relief fund for special districts, and we were able to receive $200,000 for that on COVID impact. So we're putting that money to work. We're doing some safety improvements, some infrastructure improvements at West Park. We're doing some more improvements at the lake, and so we're putting that money to use, and we're super grateful for it.
That's smart. So on your property tax bill, if you look, you have a Tehachapi Valley Recreation Parks District. It's a special district. You have a tax, and that goes mainly for your operations. Yep. And then the recreation piece, you hope pays for itself, right?
Yeah, no, we have a policy that any program or event we run is 100% pays for itself, if not more. Mm-hmm. So it has to cover that staff, it has to cover all the supply needs and all that. So we self-sustain all of our programs. We don't rely on our property tax.
That's good.
Money that we receive for programs.
So what do you guys, what do you need? You're always hiring, seems like, for game officials, volunteers, staff positions, part-time stuff. What is kind of the need currently?
Yeah, so we're gearing up for the pool. Pool opens, the first week of April. So we're having a lifeguard class coming up March 17th through 19th. We're having a second class in May. We're gearing up for all of our summer programs. So our summer adventure camp, we need counselors for.
How many lifeguards do you need? I remember 2 years ago that was a struggle.
It was a struggle for sure.
Yeah. So what's your total number of guards that you're looking for?
We would love to have 25 guards. Mm-hmm. 25.
Because there are rules, right? You have to have 2 or 3.
Yep. A minimum of 2 guards on stand for any program, because let's say a guard needs to enter the water. Well, that other guard is calling EMS and then providing that secondary assist.
Got it.
And so if you're just a lifeguard guarding on your own, you're not able to call that for emergency services if you're responding to that. that patron. So always a minimum of 2 guards on stand. So yeah, I think a solid number for us is around 25 lifeguards, so we can run, the right amount of swim lessons and just pack that pool in with as many programs as possible.
Yeah, I remember my daughter was a lifeguard for a couple of years during the summer. It worked out really well.
Oh yeah.
My kids took the swim lessons last year. They loved them, and they're ready to go back again as they get a little older and apply that stuff. And
the pool is a gem in the community. Everyone looks forward to when it opens, and they're grateful for when it's open. From a swim lessons perspective, it's a life skill. It's such an important skill to have as a.
You need to know how to swim.
Need to know. So it's
a requirement.
Exactly. So we love offering swim lessons. We pack them in as much as we can. We try to teach as many kids as possible. It's a great program for us.
When do those start?
We don't normally start swim lessons until the summer. So we offer private lessons, semi-private, and then group lessons.
So maybe it would be a good thing for city residents to stop buying lots in Bear Valley so they have access to the pool. They take that money, they donate it to your nonprofit to keep your pool open.
Exactly. Yep.
There are several people that own lots in Bear Valley just to use the amenities.
Oh yeah,
they need to refocus their resources to the city.
Oh yeah, I'm all for it.
I'm just saying.
I'm all for it.
It's true.
It is true. It is true. That's, they're paying that amenity fee as well as their property
Someone
tax
in Bear Valley is going to
lot.
hear this and say, "Whoa, we need to start an investigation." But that's the way it's set up. I mean,
They own property. They pay the property tax.
Absolutely.
They pay the amenity fee.
Absolutely.
To everyone, you set what the value is on recreation,
right?
And you go and you're willing to pay it. So,
on the volunteer front, to your question, Corey, we're always looking for volunteers. We can't do what we do without our volunteers, whether it's coaching any one of our youth sports, and we are always looking for volunteers for events, and so always in need of volunteers. We can't do a majority of what we do without our volunteers.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So we roll back to the fishing derby. What's the plant going to be like? We looking at trout?
Yeah, we're still in the process of getting some quotes right now, but I think we have a healthy number budgeted for a good stocking. We try to get a plant, I believe, like the Tuesday before. So our fishing derby is April 23rd, and that's a Saturday, and we try to get a plant about like the Tuesday or Wednesday prior, so that the fish can get a good.
Yeah, and do you stop fishing, like no fishing for a couple days?
Oh yeah.
Well, they need to get acclimated too.
Yeah, I mean, you throw anything in there and they'll bite.
But a lot of times, if you stock, the fish will go. They get shocked, so they hang. They don't want to do much. Right. Yeah. They'll strike right at the surface. To your point, Greg. But for the most part, if you were to stock on a Friday and have the derby Saturday, no one's going to catch anything because the fish have just dived and they're sleeping basically. Yeah. But they need a couple days to get acclimated, and then they're ready to go. So, I mean, I literally fished one time when the Department of Fish and Wildlife was dumping in a creek in Bishop. We're like, awesome, this is great. And like, they were just sitting there kind of dumb. They wouldn't do anything.
You're that guy.
Yeah, actually, I got to sign the sheet because the guy had to have a witness that he did the plant. And he goes, can you sign this for me? And I'm like, absolutely.
I remember when I was a kid, some guy was stalking and he let me take buckets because it was a while down to the creek. Yeah. And we would take buckets of fish down to the creek.
We were yelling at the guy, bigger, get the bigger ones,
No, I mean, so no fishing prior to that, or like right after that stocking. And there's a really awesome level of self-policing out there. We have some very prideful fishermen out there that are looking forward to that derby. Okay. I mean, we task our lake host to kind of police that and make sure no one's fishing. But there's a ton of fishermen that are just camping out there for the week and just guarding that lake. Like, you're not putting that pole in the water until Saturday.
Yeah,
so
it's awesome.
That's cool.
It's a fun event.
And you get some photos, right? So we can put on the social media and promote it and all that.
Sure. We got age group, winners for first, second, and third on biggest fish, and we'll have some vendors out there selling breakfast and lunch. We'll have coffees and donuts in the morning. It's an early start. I think lines can go in the water at 6 a.m., so we'll probably be out there at 4:30. So
I've seen the lines from Bright Lake going out down Banducci and then out onto the 202 of
to get in that day.
With their boats, waiting just to launch. That excitement. But Corey and I had a meeting with Nicole Hamblin of Love Tehachapi just before this. We were kind of brainstorming some things, and it sounds like there might be a little bit of a collaboration that Nicole and her team of Love Tehachapi is going to come out and help.
Yeah, Nicole is awesome. She just wants to love Tehachapi. It's such an appropriate name for the group, but they're not asking for anything in return. They just really love our community. She has a following and a group of individuals who just want to do the same thing. So You know, we're lucky to be thought of on some projects. I mean, we did some brainstorming, and I think we have a couple good ideas in the works.
So if you're not into fishing, but maybe you're into the volunteer aspect of it, that actually Earth Day is the day before, April 22nd. So on the 23rd, there's going to be an Earth Day project involving Love Tehachapi. They're going to be doing some volunteer aspects out at Bright Lake to help Corey and his staff alleviate some of that pressure. They're going to be rolling over and doing some other surprise things at other parks that day. So if you're into volunteering, you want to do something to help Tehachapi and help Love Tehachapi, you know, reach out to us. We'll put you in connection with Nicole. And do you guys do volunteer signups at your office?
Yeah, we do. We have a volunteer application. Sign up for what you're interested in, and we'll give you a call whenever that time comes.
So plenty of opportunity to help out around the community.
We should get Nicole on a podcast.
We will.
Yeah, you had a little teaser there, but I'm intrigued.
Yeah, we had a great conversation. We met for almost an hour, just kind of brainstorming, going back and forth, creating lists between the three of us about what we can do with Earth Day. And her list is like, she was just energetic, and it was nonstop taking notes on all the different areas that they can impact, and they want to do it. But she's also looking for additional people to help out.
She's a leader of an amazing group of people.
She is.
She is.
So anything else that you've got coming up that we didn't talk about?
No, I don't think so. I mean, we're excited for what's to come. We're excited what we're able to put on now. And I always appreciate the opportunity to come on the podcast and share with you guys and share it with your listeners and just keep serving our town.
Let's give out the website and where we can send people to sign up for these programs or get more information.
Yep, TVRPD.org, and we have regular newsletters that go out. If you can sign up for that on our website. We have an Instagram and Facebook, and just keep following along. There's something for everybody.
It's easy to do. So again, this is Corey Torres, General Manager with the Tehachapi Valley Recreation and Parks District. Corey, thanks for returning. You know, we appreciate the time, effort you guys and the entire staff, you know, puts in. Next time we expect Ashley to join you.
Yep. I don't think she can get out of it anymore.
Yeah.
These are her programs I'm promoting, so.
That's right. That's right. But thank you for taking the time and coming in. We appreciate it.
For sure. Thanks for having me.
Mm-hmm.
So we're talking TVRPD, Fishing Derby. I might be in this year. I'm going to have to go get my fishing license, and I'm going to think about, you know, maybe take the grandson out there. That might be a fun time.
Sounds like a good time, yeah.
Have you guys ever done it in the past?
Not the Derby, no.
No, I've watched them stock, but I've never actually fished in the Derby. It's too early for me. Even though I'm up, I don't sleep at night, but, you know, it's just too early.
Well, I think I might be out there.
I've done plenty of early fishing trips and that kind of stuff. I think before, you know, going to like the Sierras for the opener, I've been in the water before you're like allowed to have the pole in. You're in the water in a kick tube freezing, waiting for that sun to hit the horizon so you can put your pole in the water.
Yeah, well then you just see all the ice all of a sudden.
Ice on your line.
What am I doing here?
Ice on your line. You're like, what am I doing? Yeah.
Well, knock on wood, that won't be the situation here.
You try to eat an Oreo cookie and it's frozen and you break a teeth.
You've had some bad experiences fishing.
I just can't even. That's a whole nother podcast.
So you're recalling moments. I can see you looking up, recalling those visual moments.
They don't look happy.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we invite everyone that might be interested in one of the programs we talked about. Go to tvrpd.org. Mm-hmm. Guys, anything else that we want to bring up before?
I think this is great. I'm glad to have you back, Key, so we can really jump right back into these podcasts and get information out that's really important and relevant to our community.
Yeah, it's nice. I tell you what, it's been very easy too. You know, when I talked to Corey, we talked about what we were going to have the pre-meeting on about Earth Day and some projects, and then it's like, hey, can you stick around for some updates? And he's like, yeah, absolutely. So it's been easy to facilitate these podcasts because people are listening, they're participating in the conversation, and we're getting valuable information out. Yep. So, and on that note, we invite people to send us your thoughts. Send us a show idea, someone you'd like us to talk to. You can do that by emailing us at media@tehachapicityhall.com. It's that easy. Guys, appreciate the time. Thanks for swinging by, and I think you guys enjoyed the conversation that we had with Corey as well.
Yeah, Corey's a good interview.
Yeah.
Torres, not Costello.
I'm the interviewer.
Well, Torres has information to share.
He does,
Yeah.
but we did find
Costello
out.
is just stories.
Well, we
exactly.
did find out a little bit about
Life
Corey
lessons.
Costello's past with disc golf.
Oh, there
Yeah.
you go.
So we learned just a little something new about Corey's history.
Oh, I won a tournament once too. I'll tell you that some other time.
All right. Well, on
Amateur.
that note,
Well,
City of
Park and
Bakersfield.
Recs. If it was Park and Recs, everybody wins.
No, it was
everyone's a winner.
north of the river in Bakersfield, amateur division, like 2004.
this is where I start to pot you down. And
Yeah,
we
exactly.
fade,
cut us
we
off,
fade
Keith.
you out.
I
of
have
the-
Play me out. Play that exit.
I have
right.
work to do.
That's right.
Tehatchapod is a conversation about Tehachapi designed for the people who live here or who would like to know more about this mountaintop community. If you have a question you would like answered, email media@tehachapicityhall.com. We will try to answer it on a future episode of Tehachapod.